We're a little rusty.
Well, you don't realize when you do something every day, you can just like roll up onto the set and go right into it. But it's been a little while.
It's been a little while. Happy Thursday, and it's nice to know, Naz, I officially know the days of the week.
Oh yeah, there's no mistaking them now. There's no mistaking them.
Well, happy Thursday, bowling fans, as Dennis points out. Welcome back. We are back live
Here,
in person, Live from Rabs, episode 126.
we're gonna keep going.
Well, why not? I mean, there's no reason not to keep going. We promised you that we would be back. We're sorry we're late today. A little off kilter today, as we are.
Ian stopped in to say hello to
Hi,
me.
Ann.
One of our top fans.
Over today. Yeah, and we're sorry we're late. I was late, Naz was not. I attempted to run some errands this morning, which was all good until my last stop. That just held me up for a little bit longer than I anticipated.
Things happen.
I should have just followed the gut. That's what I should have done. I should have followed the gut and said, you know what?
We had that discussion, right? I told you, when something doesn't feel right, it's just poking you to tell you, maybe not.
Maybe not. Just don't do it.
Maybe not.
Nothing new, thanks.
Follow the intuition. Follow the intuition.
It's been a crazy, so it is officially 1 month since we got to reopen bowling in New York State. 1 month since we opened up again here at Crabs. And of course, which is exciting. We're very excited.
We are super.
Our league bowling season got started last Tuesday. A couple leagues still starting and getting into the action.
Yes.
And it's nice, Kenny. It's nice to see you too.
Yeah.
You've missed us in this space, but we've got
Right.
to see
We get to see you
in
a couple of
person.
times a week. Actually.
So we are here in the bar because this is the quietest place that we have at the moment. Our bar is still closed, but not really closed because we are serving food and drink outside.
It's so nice outside. It really, I mean, you drive by, it's like, sometimes I go this way purposely when I leave so I can see how nice the setup looks. And I'm like, we have to continue this when this is over.
And
I
we will.
really like it.
The outdoor dining situation is not going to go away. We are going to, the next spring and summer, it'll take on a different look as we're figuring it all out. It's getting cooler out, so it is a little challenging.
Yeah.
And our league bowlers, our regular customers, especially our league bowlers, I should say, are so used to eating and drinking while bowling. And so this certainly has been a challenge
The
for all of
programs,
us.
people get programmed. It's part of your routine. It's part of what you do.
Listen, my team Tuesday nights, it is our thing. We start bowling, we then a couple of them drink, and then we order food, we eat dinner together. It's a thing.
Yeah.
And the food thing is just it's become a joke like Tuesday night bowling. But it's true. It is.
You guys eat a lot of food, by the way.
Are you judging?
No, my team also likes to enjoy. It's funny because we'll have like a salad and then we'll have chicken fingers, French fries.
So who's the culprit there? Is it Megan? Is it you?
It's so funny because people are who they are, and it kind of like varies from week to week. But Megan is pretty steady on the salad. I have to say, she's good.
Because I can
She's
see her
the
being a
glue.
bad influence.
She's the glue that holds us together. Honestly,
I like Megan. She's a good girl.
in her own way.
Yeah. So the last time, we were talking about the outdoor dining. So the last time we had our show, episode 125, we were outside.
Literally.
The two shows before, I take that back. So
Yeah.
Before the last one, we were outside with Pam Silvestri, Marco, and Tina talking about pizza and Zeppeli's. And that was before we really were done outside. So now it's the tables are all stained and cleaned. It took take on a different look outside. And it's going to continue to do so. So we're excited to keep that. And it's funny, we all have our things. So when people go outside, when we first started, we didn't have tables in the grass area, right?
Correct.
So when we added those tables, that's place people go, into the garden. You go right into the garden.
Because
They've never had the chance to go in there before, really.
one, I think it's that, because it's like, well, it's not like it's fenced in, there's a gate here, we should be able to go in here, like, on an everyday basis.
Right.
And then two, I still think that there's some people who may be a little reticent about eating outside, curbside, because of traffic. So I think maybe they feel a little more protected the closer they are into the building. And it's nice in there. It's kind of like a nice little.
It's still a work. The garden's always been nice to keep it. We have some fresh produce in there. Please keep your hands off. I actually have to go.
Frankie's definitely going to fence that in. If that stays,
it's already happening. I don't know if Freddie did it. He's got the fencing to keep it up. But I have this beautiful fig tree that came back to life.
It did. It's blooming wonderfully.
Eggplants. We got baby eggplants coming in. I think today I might be able to pick them up. But
they're pretty big. I mean, my eggplants at home are still kind of, they're going to end up being baby eggplants.
Do you want to compare eggplants?
No, I already did. I already went out and looked, and I was like, oh, yours are bigger than mine.
Oh.
But you know what? I think things kind of grow to the container size a little bit. So, I mean, mine are literally in a raised bed that's not that big. That in the ground is the best way to do it.
So the garden, it's taken on its own life, but it's nice. So before you come into bowl, after bowling, have pizza, have a drink, go enjoy.
Oh my gosh.
What?
Next year we can feature farm to table menu from our garden.
From the garden.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
From the garden. From the garden. On the table. If my brother was listening.
I would love that. I mean, Anthony actually popped into my head when I said it.
That's true. Well, I will say, the garden started, we had strawberries in there that we used for the bar, mints, hazel. I mean, we made it, the stuff that's out there comes into the kitchen now.
Yeah.
We could essentially, literally, farm to that table right outside. Yes. We're always thinking, Stephanie wanted this picnic table for years to go have lunch.
Yeah, we used to talk about it. It's funny. We should really be able to sit outside.
And it's been nice to see everybody take advantage of that opportunity.
Yeah.
It's not the ideal situation that you have to eat or drink before bowling, can't drink during bowling.
Correct.
We don't in the business of saying yes and never no. And sadly, we have to keep telling you no. And so it's not now makeup. Our genetic makeup to have to do that now, and it's very difficult. And so my little rant for the day, because I want to answer, there's two questions here I want to come back to while we're talking about food, but they're all related. One, you have to wear a mask everywhere you go.
Everywhere.
Okay? I'm sorry.
In the world right now.
Everywhere.
Pretty much.
And there are, in some states, it is a little different. So in an office space, you have to wear the mask. If you can't socially distance, you don't have to always wear it. And however, in New York State, you have to wear the mask at all times. If you're outside, the only caveat is if you're outside and you can't socially distance, you wear the mask. Otherwise, you don't have to outside.
Right, if you're walking down the street, yeah.
And when you're driving your own car and there's nobody in the car, you don't need to wear a mask. You can take it off.
Right, you can.
However, do people really think that I or you want to go up to them and say, do me a favor?
Could you put your mask on? No.
I'm sorry. I'm asking you. There's plenty of signs. So when you're walking around like this and I say mask up, you look at me annoyed. I'm sorry. This is not for me. This is for all of us. Do you think I want to wear this?
Okay.
So, but I don't want to have to do this.
Understand. There's a very strong movement against masks. There are people who think different things. They think it's a violation of their rights. There are people that think that the masks don't do anything. They don't help. So that's embedded in the way they think, and it's like that's not really. I have to say, I understand all that, but here that's not necessarily our problem. I don't get that. When we ask people, I will say, anytime I say this for the most 90% of people, when I say, please put your mask up, yes, no problem. And then we get into talking about it.
My issue is if I come up to you and I say, please put your mask on,
Oh, the people
and
that
I walk away and you blatantly take it off, do you think I'm stupid? Do you think I not know I turn around and see you with the mask off? Do you think I want to have to go back over you? No. Just keep the damn mask on. And so, Dorothy, the policy is you have to wear the mask at all times, unlike what Nazareth and I are doing at the moment. But there is nobody else in this bar. We are
socially
distancing. However, you have to wear it at all times. Now, we have there when you get on the bowling lane and you want to do a little put it down to breathe while you're doing the physical activity, that's fine. But once you enter this space, you have to put up the mask. And I will say, the beauty, our staff is on it. We are trying so hard to keep people on their toes, and every day we're the mask police. Every day we're constantly asking people to please put their masks on. A face shield is not appropriate.
Well, you can wear the shield, but you still have to wear a mask.
Right. We've only had that in one case. So I have to say I was expecting a little bit more of the shield.
Yes, it's not so bad.
But you can't wear a shield without a mask. So don't bother wearing the shields unless
some
unless
people
you
want
have
to
a
protect their eyes and
I've seen some. I do like the glasses. But if you're concerned about your
like
eyes,
a goggle.
they make the glasses and they're clear. They're not, they're if you had prescription, they're actually kind of stylish.
Right.
Well,
Right.
but everybody has to wear the mask. That's all we're asking. It is difficult. At the same time, for all of us, I think it's going to be a little bit more of a challenge for us when we had indoor dining. You can't use, no matter what, you can't use the mask as the excuse.
To not, right.
Or you can't use the food or the drink as the excuse.
Yeah.
And it's a shame because, Dorothy, you're right. There are people who, they do get a little nasty. And I will say, for the most part that we've noticed, especially in league play, if they see somebody, either they'll say something or they'll come
to us.
If there's an issue, please, we ask people to come to us.
Yeah, we don't want any of our customers to have to worry about confronting people about wearing a mask and, putting themselves in a weird kind of position with somebody they see every week. So we have no problem, explaining to the person why they have to wear a mask. And, listen, do I think with the amount of people we've had in the building in the last week that it's terrible? No. It's probably about what I expected. Maybe, I want to say a little bit on the better side, because the majority of people are doing what they're supposed to be doing.
Actually, it actually gets better to an extent. But like I said, I do have a concern with the indoor dining. So Kenny was asking about indoor dining. As of today, all that we know is that we will get to turn on indoor dining September 30th, just like the restaurant. So we'll be able to have food and drink service to the tables behind the lanes. What we do also know, you can't just be served alcohol without food. So you have to have.
So that's remaining.
Right.
So two people asked me about that.
We weren't sure.
That's
We believe that remains, because that is in the current state bowling guidelines throughout the state. And it's table service. You cannot go up to this physical bar and order a drink. You wouldn't be able to go up to the snack bar. And if you place an order at the snack bar, you can't take it from the snack bar. You have to go deliver. It's right. It's got to be delivered to. Kind of what's happening outside.
Yeah.
So it's mostly table service, but you'll be able to eat and drink. We will also have to provide temperature. Now we will also be doing temperature checks when you arrive in the doors. So part of the indoor dining rule is that you have to check everybody's temperature upon arrival. So we will have thermometers and stations at each of the entrances when you walk in. We ask everybody to please temp in upon arrival. Still working out the details of how that'll work, but we're asking you to please use it when you arrive before you go sit down and you go home. And that's going to be required for everybody that comes to the facility. Yeah. Again, not our rule. We didn't have to do it prior to.
And it's, we really didn't want to do it. There are people that think that that's an invasion of their privacy also.
Correct.
And again, like you said, it's not a rule, and it's something that, again, is costing the businesses money.
Yeah, and so
not cheap either.
So next week, Pam is going to be with us. So our co-host Pam Silvestri is going to be back, and if she should be coming next week. If not the next 2 Thursdays, she'll be here.
Right.
So she did tell me today. As of today, I'll be there next week, which will be great because we'll have her perspective from the restaurants.
Right.
They'll just be getting ready for indoor dining. I will say, I do believe that some restaurants may not even bother with indoor dining at 25% for a short period of time.
It's right.
I look at a restaurant, like our friends at Restrada, they have to say, they did a beautiful job out back. They have a lot of tables. Now, do they want indoor dining? 100%. But now, all these restaurants that have this large area of outdoor dining, plus an indoor dining at 25%, could they really effectively do it with the staff?
Letting their staff.
And so how much staff do you bring in to then accommodate indoor and outdoor? And it's not your traditional outdoor space, because this is still very new for many of these restaurants. Can you do it? And 25% in some of these restaurants is a very small number.
Right.
So here in the bowling center, in bowling area, the total capacity of the building is 750 people. The bar and the party room here are 150. So that means we can only have 37 people inside this bar at a time. Think about that, 37 people sitting at tables in this bar. That's it. A birthday party in the party room could only be 10 people. Outside of the bowling area is of course the best case. Right. We could serve 150 people. Right. So for those that were asking, we are at, because the bowling center itself is at 50% capacity, utilizing every other lane, every other pair of lanes.
And that is not even half of it.
Right. So that's right. So we're at a good point where I don't know if we were able to use more lanes.
If we would be
How
would we choose?
You can't eat today,
right?
But I can eat, or you have to wait. I don't know how that would work. So we're in a good place where we don't have to worry about.
I would think that they would base it on your table space.
Well, then it would be the number of chairs, right? Because then you can't provide seating for those people.
Right. And I don't know so if somebody's standing up and eating, I don't, and look at how many people do that while they're bowling. They stand at the whole table. So how do you?
A locker.
Right. Yeah.
So we don't want to create any more challenges that we already have challenges.
Yes.
We don't want any more challenges, but we do believe we get to turn it on and we'll do it as effective as possible.
Yeah.
So you can enjoy your food and drink while eating. One of the other challenges that we've had, and I'm going to throw this out there. I wasn't going to, but one of the challenges that we've had is that, you come to bowling and it's experience, you can't drink inside. So, let's put a cooler in the car and drink out in the parking lot. Oh. By the way, tailgating is an illegal activity to begin with. And on private property where the property owns a liquor license, it's even more of a problem. So you're not going to have a problem. I'm going to have a problem. So,
and if I have a problem, you're going to have a problem.
Because you're not going to have a place to bowl or drink. So if I lose my liquor license, now you have ruined it for everybody. Yeah. And this is the challenge that I look at the restaurants that we have 4 restaurants on Staten Island that have gotten their liquor licenses revoked. 3 of them have now received their liquor licenses back. At the same time, at a large price. If that happened to us, I couldn't afford to pay that $25,000 fine.
It's crazy. That is.
And so now what? And so now what happens? This whole experience is now killed, and so now we're only now encouraging people to now not drink here, or come here and enjoy themselves. So,
Frank, I tell people.
No different. I don't want to have to go tell people to put their mask on, but do you think I want to go outside and tell people you can't have a good time? No. I want you to come and have a good time, but not at my expense. So please, if you and your friends know someone, this is not accepted. It is not an acceptable activity. Don't do it. Please respect the facility, respect the people around you.
And we understand that, people, this is associated, our sport's associated with going out, having a good time, having a couple drinks with your friends, having something to eat, and it is an inconvenience. You know what? In the grand scheme of time, it's a short amount of time that we're asking people. Listen, just sit tight like we did. All 3 of the businesses in here, pretty much for 6 months. Just hang tight for a couple months. Hey, I'm just watching the camera.
Oh,
yeah.
So
That's okay.
All right. For 6 months, little to zero income. You had no income, I had no income. Fortunately, we were able to sell some food, but again, not at the same time.
Not it, right?
It wasn't enough to pay bills, and so how do you get there? And so I just ask, please respect your small businesses, do what you can, be a part of
the solution.
Be a part of the solution, be a part of getting forward and supporting those. And so, Kenny, I'm going to take you up on that offer.
Yeah, let's do it.
For sure. We'll have to get Pam out to Mizu. She does I believe she likes sushi. We had this conversation on sushi. Anyway, so no more ranking. So we don't want to, I just want to welcome people back. I want people to have fun, come to this environment, feel safe, and that's the whole part of what we do here to begin with. This is your escape from everyday life.
Right.
Come enjoy it. I want you to enjoy it with your friends.
We're happy that you're here.
Speaking of enjoying, and we talk about Pam, I had sent Pam a picture of this before because I did stop at Mark's. Tina, I know this is not on the plan,
We're sorry, Tina,
but
but Frankie and I are probably going to eat this entire box.
no.
Oh, well, I'll eat half then.
I stopped at Mark's to go pick up the fig donuts. So if any of you follow Pam and Dr. Ferretti and anybody that
That is
involved
into the figs.
into Fig Fest. So Fig Fest was an event that was happening Tuesday.
Fig.
To celebrate Fig Fest, Mark created these fig donuts. So it's got dark. Thank you. These fig. I'm gonna go out. So I'm gonna do a close.
Okay, you do it close up.
Okay. So it's got dark chocolate on the top, walnut. It looks like I think the cinnamon toasted or dusted walnuts.
Yes.
I'm gonna break it in half so you can see it. That's the one picture I've seen that looks amazing. So filled with fig jam.
Oh.
I don't know if it's jelly or jam, but it looks like they say it's fig jam. And they look delicious. They smell delicious. I love figs.
I love
Figs.
figs.
I'm not sharing this, so you have to get your own.
No, we're going to do half and half.
No, I got 6 of them. So I have to say, we have been on a plan together as friends and family here at
As
Rabs,
friends and family.
supporting each other to lose some weight, just to eat healthy.
To eat healthy. Some losing weight, and some really maybe don't need to, but they really need to get their diet a little bit better. So yeah.
So Tina has been preparing lunches for us, and breakfast shakes and lunches, and they've been fantastic. So I don't know, what's for lunch today?
I don't know. I've opted out of most of the lunches.
So today's lunch, I don't know what I was excited for, and I said yes. We had tacos this week, chicken tacos with jicama taco shells, which were really cool.
They look delicious.
So back to the donuts. So they look delicious. If you buy them between now and Saturday, up to Saturday, I believe, there's a portion of the proceeds going to support the National Lighthouse Museum, which hosted.
And I think they made that into the permanent home because previously it had kind of bounced around. Is it good?
This is ridiculous.
Well, I will tell you, Mark's Bake Shop is, first of all, their food is delicious. Second of all, they're so innovative in trying different things and just different combinations of stuff.
So I stopped in this morning. That was another stop that I made today. But this was an important stop. The other stop wasn't really important, but I thought I'd get it. Yeah, they're not sweet. So he had said they'd been very popular. So he came in while I was ordering them. He said, "Oh," I said, "I came for donuts," but I had already sent her a message and commented on Instagram that I had to have these donuts in my life. So he was excited. He said they've been very popular.
Oh,
now they've been all over Instagram and Facebook. People talking about them. They are delicious. They're not overly sweet.
They're perfect.
The chocolate really complements the.
Yeah.
I have to ask him more details. I'm going to send him a text now. But the jam itself might just be jam. I don't like. Sometimes they add sugar and they add stuff.
Yeah. No, this seems.
I don't think there's anything. Mark, you have to yourself. These are absolutely just delicious.
We're welcoming Ray with us today. As he is. Come over here and taste this, Ray. You can take your mask off because you're inside here now. You're in the inner section.
You can taste your donut, man. These are very good. So, Mark's Bake Shop in Richmond Town on Richmond Road. Big donuts that were commemorating Fig Fest.
Which, unfortunately.
And we got figs coming off our tree, so I'm really excited.
I will have figs next year.
So,
My little baby.
what do you think, Ray? Wow.
You know what? You would think with all the other stuff, you wouldn't really taste the fig, but I think it makes it.
Well, so if anybody bowls here in the mornings, these were the donuts that we would get from Mark's. Would always supply the donuts to the morning leagues in the last year, and I would go. All right, sign me up. Now we have jelly and cream and frosted and the crullers. but the jelly and the cream donuts were always stuffed. And that was one of the, when he was on the show, we talked about that. How he takes pride in his product. He does, in some cases, overstuff them. But they're perfect. So kudos to you. I don't know if you have
This is a big
taking a break and watching us today, but I'll send you a message. It's a shame, I want to eat more of it.
And that's the problem with them. I have more waste the rest of it.
Yeah. And these are delicious. And Ann is here, so maybe Ann, I'll share a donut. Ann is watching while she's bowling. So so the league season started Tuesday, and we have a little slow start. So this morning the Pin Center Maddox started. A couple of other leagues are still getting in the swing, so we're really just pushing forward, which is great. However, this segment brought to you by Rabs Country Lanes. If you are interested in getting into a league, there it is. We do have spots available still. So if you wanted to join, whether it be mixed league, men's league, ladies daytime league, ladies league, family league, there's something for everyone.
Yeah.
There are plenty of spots open. We need some individuals to fill some spots.
Individuals, couples, singles. So yeah,
Now, do they have to be single?
in some spots it would be helpful.
It's true. I love getting that question. We were just talking about this the other day. Somebody, I'd like to meet someone. Well, this is the perfect opportunity to meet someone. Now, Ray, where did you meet your wife?
Colonial Lanes.
And look at this, blissful.
Yep.
And they live
How many years
happily
later?
ever after. A long time.
How many years married?
It's 32.
I was going to ask you, but you didn't remember that.
32. I'm only like 40, so I don't know.
You were
I got married when I was
we were together for like 8 years before we got married.
So you're together 40 years.
We were both a little hesitant. Yeah, pretty much.
So together 40 years. That's scary.
There's not
That's
enough.
why you're bold.
There's not enough room here. All right, skip around the table. Skip around the table.
And if anybody's been around this week,
You know Ray is in a skipping mood.
he's been very excited to see everybody. He's been skipping around. And you know why? For 5 months we sat here in a very dark place. You guys joined us, and if it wasn't for you, it wouldn't have been helpful. And I know you guys keep saying the same as you're coming through the building every day. But it was depressing. And I will say, I'm in a good mood now because we're doing this, but I've had a rough few days. It's still depressing.
Yeah.
We want to, Wednesday, just last night I stood there again on the concourse and I'm going, half the lanes, and you said it last night, you might not remember you said it, but you said it to me last night. He goes, this is crazy. He goes, where is everybody? And then you remembered, he goes, we're bowling again later, right? I said, yeah. I said, we're splitting shifts, and it's just not the normal Wednesday night. It's great to see everybody, and we're happy to have something better than nothing. And it's certainly a sign that we're going to get somewhere, hopefully sooner rather than later.
Yeah.
As long as we do our part.
All right, I gotta get back to the shop, but I'm so happy to be back.
Just mask up when you go back out there.
He had to get it in.
You did.
Had to do it. Well, there you go, everybody.
Welcome to the inner sanctum. Here at Rabs. But you've seen it, and Ray's great. He really, the last few days he said, he just keeps saying it. It's excited to see people back in the lanes.
Yeah, because you don't kind of realize how, it's the little things that you take for granted.
Oh, we know. 5 months ago.
Yes, 5 months of talking about it. And it's good to see people, and there were even people that were, there were the people like we joked about. Well, if that person doesn't come back, but no, even seeing the nudges come back it's because they complete the picture. It's a complete picture, and we want people to be together more. Yeah.
Last night, I happened to stop at the funeral home. Irene Cahill passed away. And if anybody remembers Irene Cahill, long-time bowler, she ran the women's 500 club. She moved to Phoenix.
Yes.
Over 10 years ago, and she had to stop. Part of the reason she wanted to get out of here, she had Parkinson's and arthritis, and so really, she couldn't be here with her friends knowing she couldn't bowl. And when I met her children last night, they were talking about how she missed bowling, but she had to get away from it. And she missed the girls and everybody around her. At the same time, that woman who was always driven. Now this makes So global sense. She took a shooting.
I don't doubt that she filled it in with something else.
And drinking.
Well,
She wasn't much of
many
a
people
drinker.
have taken
But
it.
her daughter said, I called and she was, well, you're getting away with my Margarita Mondays. But anyway,
What a sweet lady. What a
she really was. And so we all have great stories of people. And she lived a life. She had the best, as her daughter said, the best last 10 years of her life were out in Phoenix with her new friends, doing what she wanted to do. And we've certainly missed her. I then was talking with some friends after, and back to seeing people and asking questions. And the reason why I brought the funeral caller up, the funeral home, was because when somebody dies and you go to someone and you say, well, how are you?
Right.
Well, how do you think I am?
Right.
My mother somebody just died.
Right.
Well, how are you? That's the worst question you can ask. But even now, I don't relate that to the same thing that's happening now. How are you? How do you think I am? There's nobody in the
Yeah, well, because
I
it's,
dropped an F-bomb, sorry, but it's true.
I guess it depends on who it's coming. Because there are people that ask that genuinely are asking,
Yes.
how are you? Not, I know, in a way, what they're saying is, I know this is a terrible situation.
How are you?
I know this is a bad situation, but, people, there are genuine people that ask.
There are.
And then there are people that it's just part of what they say every day. How you doing?
It's true.
You don't really want to know how I'm doing, because if you had about 45 minutes, I could give you the short version. But yeah. So, but you can tell by
You know.
kind of where it's coming from.
You don't know.
Whether they want it.
It's so true. And last night, again, when you talk with people, two things that happened over the last month. So being outside for lunch, dinner, whatever it might be, or just talking with people, you know so much more about what happens in the neighborhood.
Oh yes.
So if you're a neighborhood window watcher, you know everything in your neighborhood.
It's really funny.
We know a lot about what happens in our neighborhood because people come and tell us. But now,
But it's a little different.
oh my God, the dog walkers. For the last 2 days in a row, Chris Shearer and his wife are walking down to pick up their kids up on their daily stroll. But they come this way, but then they must go around the block that way. It's just amazing what you see. And then even inside, last night I was talking to a gentleman who happens to own a bike shop. And he was asking me about businesses and the loans and all the things. And but then I had to flip the script because I was really interested in learning about his business.
Right.
I didn't even have to ask. He went right into it. Interesting conversation because someone who was able to be in business all of this time has very similar struggles.
Yes. And even like, because we talked about it last night, somebody that you would go, oh, that guy was rolling, he must have been rolling in the dough. He couldn't get bikes fast enough because everybody bought a bike. But on the same, by the same token, that also creates a struggle in itself. And a different change maybe in business philosophy or just how your business is going to look in a few months.
Well, a few months, so holiday season's coming. Are you going to go buy a bike? Well, you just bought a bike, so now I don't need a bike. Now next summer,
you don't think, and I
are people going to need bikes? Maybe not. So he was talking about how his sales are usually X, and he had a great summer.
Right.
Challenging in its own way.
Right.
Like, how do I forecast for the next 6, 12, 24 months?
Correct.
And I keep saying that very consistently. We don't know if this is not a 3-month problem, 6, 12, 24 months. And each one of those steps of the way is going to be something different.
Absolutely.
And so where do we go? We still don't have a package delivered. And the crazy part about the financial, I don't want to get politics, I just want to mention this. The crazy part about what's happening about this financial package, July 31 came and went. Here we are today, where the president and the opposing party are probably closer than his own party, which is crazy. I just had this conversation with someone, and I'm reading about this morning. And when you really think about what he would look at, there was a $2 trillion deal.
Right, each side had their own.
He said $1 trillion, met them halfway.
Yep.
We're in one place, but then his own party doesn't want it.
Apart, right?
Yeah, right. And but the opposing party is also breaking. Like they're all breaking apart.
They all. But at least
this
it's
point
two.
where we should be getting somewhere.
Yeah.
But sadly, this is a cycle. While this election cycle is very different, right?
Yeah.
Go back
a lot of it is the
8,
same.
12, 16, 20,
Yeah.
24 years, it's the same thing. So listen, my problem just is it's at our expense. Whatever decision needs to be made, it's now happening at our expense, and we need to just work together to get to where we have to go.
So, right, and on that note, and we won't go into politics, I promise, because closer it gets to election day, the harder things get around here. But go out and vote. I beg you, if you're happy or not happy, if you want to see the things you want to see, they're not going to happen if you don't vote.
Especially local elections.
That was where I was going to, is that the local, in my opinion, your local elections are so much more important, and in my opinion, have more of an effect on your everyday life than what the national elections do. Your local lawmakers are directly affecting your everyday life. The things that are happening in New York City right now are not caused because of Trump. They are caused, good or bad, because of local policies and local politicians. So you have to vote. That's the only way things will ever change.
Well, we've talked again, this is nothing new. I've always said this. I'm a firm believer in voting. Go vote. Exercise your right.
We always come in.
I love when somebody says, "Well, it doesn't mean anything to me." It really does. And it's just your right. Go do it. Whether you feel it's going to make a difference, because there are too many people that feel the same way.
Right.
I want a great example. Our city councilman, Joe Borelli. City councilman Joe Borelli supported a bill
for the
restaurants, and got great support from city council, including the mayor. Now he's got people in his party that's having a problem with it. However, I have to say I'm not against it. The bill, if you read it, is about giving the flexibility for restaurants to charge up to 10% for COVID-related fees. Now, do I agree with it? No, I don't. Am I going to do it? Absolutely not. Right. Because I think it's no different than another tax or the credit card recycling tax.
To me, that's what it is. You can call it what it is.
As long as you're upfront about it and people know when they get there, fine, and if you're okay with it. However, all it did was give flexibility. And I have to say, kudos to our restaurant friends
for pushing.
Not only pushing, but also taking a stand and saying, hey, we're not going to do this.
Yeah.
On my Facebook feed this morning, I must have seen 7 restaurant owners that represent multiple restaurants, that said, hey, we're not doing this. The first one I think I saw this morning was the Corner House. Kudos to them for putting the message out and saying, we're not going to do this. At the same time, they are still standing with their fellow restaurants.
And that's what I mean when I say pushing, is that there's a general support for the group without necessarily agreeing with every single decision or everything that gets brought forward. So to me, that's what a group should be. I mean, we're all going to sit together. Yeah, I know it's impossible. That bacon one is absolutely calling me.
Just put aside.
And that's what a group should be. We can work together as a group, not necessarily agree on every single point, but let's go forward. And I like that it's the flexibility that I can have it, and you choose not to. So, and again, that was local politicians.
And I give Joseph friends, and we agree and disagree on this. And I will tell you, I'm excited for him because it's a win for him and the city at the same time. You know what? In a very democratic city, here's a Republican from Staten Island that stood up for something and got a win. Yeah. You know what? I think that is a nice feather in his cap. Yeah. Whether you agree with it or not, I think it's a good thing. Yeah. And so again, it gives flexibility for the restaurant side to do it or not. And I will tell you, I think the majority won't. I think they just look at it and go, okay. Now maybe they'll just put a $5 charge. Don't get me wrong. I have every reason to say we should, because it costs us more to operate than it did yesterday. Between providing PPE for our staff, between all the work that we've had to do, the signage alone, and then everything that goes along with it, and time and energy, you can't put dollars. Extra staffing is the big one. While we cut hours, we're also picking up hours for other things. So, and then the outdoor dining expense
is a whole other.
With not even taking into consideration the lost revenues for 5 months. And so how do you pick that up? And again, $5 on every tab doesn't do it, but $5 on a tab could help.
Right.
Again, I don't personally believe in it. I think it's just another tax. If you want, Mark and I had a conversation. He doesn't believe in it either. He said, I'm not going to do it. If I have to raise my prices 5%,
I'll raise the prices.
I'll raise my prices. And so, yes, we had to raise our prices
Yes.
to accommodate what's happening. And that's how we addressed it. Again, is it right? Is it wrong? I don't know.
In a way,
but-
to me, it's kind of doing the same thing, just
About being sly about
maybe they feel that by calling it a surcharge, that it's something that people are aware that they're being charged more, and that and why, and that's something that can easily be taken back when we eventually get through this. I don't know.
No, so true.
But
Hi, Melissa.
it's the same, only different.
Melissa, what is for lunch today?
Pasta.
Oh,
yes.
Pasta
The
Primavera.
first time we got, she used, I bet you it's Bonza
Did
pasta.
she use
Come on, yeah.
pasta or
Come on,
zoodle?
Is it right? Is it zoodles or is it
I
pasta?
don't know, I didn't ask.
Let's see.
Yeah, look what we
Inspection.
have. Melissa.
Oh no, these are the. All right, I'm going to show this.
What's real strong?
Melissa, I know this is your favorite, if you trust me. So we talked about Tina doing meal planning and doing food for us. So we have pasta Primavera today for lunch.
That I should have got.
So it's all the veggies. What you see is what you get, as Tina would tell you. No, these are the egg-free noodles.
Oh, yeah.
That's what these are. I remember that conversation.
Yeah.
I haven't tried them yet. Looks delicious.
They're good. Yeah, those are good.
We like them. We use them. I thought she was going to use the Bonza pasta.
Yeah, that's pretty much boxy. That's what I use.
But that one, yeah, the egg-free, no yolk. What's the
It's the no yolk.
no whatever they call it. So that's today's lunch. So I have to say thank you, Tina.
Yeah, she's doing a great job with that. That's a good idea. And I hope that in a way that kind of grows from her.
I think, Tina, I think she's trying to build something that because she does Reiki, she does yoga, she does do some Zoom calls in the party room during the middle of the day for some of her clients. And even for us, she wants us to do she's trying to build up a little business for herself.
Yeah, that's good.
And it's great.
Good for
The
her.
meal planning is fantastic.
Yeah.
All the meals have been great. We know that Terry doesn't like vegan cheese. We've learned.
I don't think anybody was really wild about that vegan cheese.
It didn't bother me.
It doesn't. The only time it bothered me was on the pizza.
When it's part of when it really is part of what should be, cheese.
So she had a cauliflower crust pizza for us.
Oh, that was delicious. I like that.
It was good. It was a lot.
Vegan cheese doesn't.
It was too much.
Yeah.
And the vegan cheese on that was. But I will say, in the other meals, you don't taste any because it's a little bit.
Right.
The vegetables, I love it. Like she does the palm veggies for us, kind of like a. She called it vegetable lasagna. I mean, it wasn't lasagna.
It wasn't.
Don't tell me something lasagna. I know it's not. If you're gonna give me lasagna, I want lasagna.
Right.
With meat, and I want to be cook out there on top. I want lasagna. That sounds good. But we were talking during this time. I know I had lost some weight. Naz had lost some weight. Some people put on a lot of weight. But I will say, during this time, even after, it's very easy for us to just order lunch from our favorite places all the time. And I'm the first one and Naz and I are the first ones to say, how about just to get something healthier? And then we watched
We won't say
our
names.
fellow friends,
We won't say names.
Melissa, Fran, eat this other food and going, oh, I should so eat that.
Yeah.
I'm not as good as other people.
No, some other people are bad. But some of them could have. I watch Billy eat. Billy, great example. I watch him eat every night. He's this big,
Yeah.
and he's active, but what he eats and how he eats it, God bless him. I couldn't eat like that. And then I watch Rob. Rob's another one. Rob Wallace, who's, if you haven't met Rob, Rob is our night manager who was working 2 days a week, that's now working 7. God bless him. And he's this big too. And I'm like,
he can put it away.
So the one night we ordered Shake Shack. It was
I was here that night, but I left one Shake Shack.
It was so good, and as I'm eating it, I was saying, I should be eating this, I should be
You know,
eating this, I should
what
be
do
eating
you
this. And
think?
sure enough, I regretted eating it.
Yeah, well, because when you stop eating that kind of food, fried and more heavy food, it doesn't really sit well in your gut after.
Well, so the problem that I had, and I'm going to enter the TMI stage just for a moment.
I love this.
But lunchtime, I had a pizza on a wrap. So we take a wrap and we make it a little pizza.
Yes.
My only issue with the pizza is that it had a little too much cheese on it. And Arturo loves to put cheese, especially when you put other toppings. But I put mushrooms and hot peppers.
Right. Oh,
And then the tip, which was fine. I didn't even ate the whole thing.
Right.
Because it's not heavy.
Right.
Dinner time, we got the Shake Shack, a single cheeseburger, fries, but I got spicy fries. And I
Oh,
haven't had French fries in a while.
I've never had them, yeah.
I never had them,
Oh.
but they told me I had to try them.
Shake Shack fries.
And there's nothing like putting fries in the shake. So now Courtney got me to order the pumpkin spice shake. So now I'm eating the pumpkin
That's a
spice shake,
lot. Fries.
spicy fries, and this burger. I devoured it in like 8 minutes. Okay? It's delicious. I like their burgers, they're not greasy.
Yeah, then
The fries were on point. They were spicy as hell. Sadly, with the hot peppers that I had in the afternoon and the spicy fries, needless to say, that did not
Flamethrower.
stay long in my stomach. So it felt good because then it was all gone.
Yeah, you have to clean up the system.
But I don't recommend eating hot peppers and then the spicy fries. But the spicy fries in the shake
Yeah.
was so good.
I don't put my fries in the shake.
Oh, yeah, I do.
But I
Can
do
you
like
fries in
Shake
a
Shack.
Frosty or your shake? Because that's amazing.
I do like Shake Shack's fries. And we actually had Shake Shack because it's not that far from my house. We had it maybe 2.5 weeks ago, right before we started, right before everybody started the team healthy thing. I said, I'm going to have Shake Shack. So what I like at Shake Shack is the chicken.
The chicken. But they need a grilled chicken option.
They don't have it. No, they don't. But I like the chicken nuggets, whatever you want to call them.
Chicken nuggies?
Chicken nuggies. They're really good. And I'm going to say they're pretty close to Chick-fil-A and maybe even better, but they're good.
But they're good. Their fried chicken sandwiches, the nuggets.
Yeah, the nuggets are good.
I love the sandwich.
Fries the sandwich, but
The last time I had it, which was the first time in a long time, was after we left running D. I wasn't going to do it, and then I ordered it.
well, we didn't have lunch.
We didn't have lunch, so I was like, you know what? But here I might as well do it, and it's good.
Yeah. Their food is. Listen, it's a recipe, so it's going to be the same no matter where you go. And that used to be when we used to go to watch the baseball game. One of the places to have dinner was the Shake Shack, if the line wasn't too long.
Yeah, every game I go, I try to mix it up. But Shake Shack is always like, the Papa Frida steak sandwich.
Oh, that
I don't even want the bread.
that is probably.
I eat like some of the bread, and then I pick all the
Me too, I do the
inside.
same.
Because that steak sandwich is so good.
It is.
And it's hard to eat on the bread because it slides.
Yeah. Yes. Yes.
When I go to a Met game, it's a Papa Frida steak sandwich,
And I
or
don't
I think
understand.
like Blue Smoke.
Yeah, I
barbecue
like Blue Smoke.
and the French fries.
Before they opened Lafreda, that's where I used to go. I used to go to Blue Smoke because I hate waiting online. For food, it doesn't mean that much to me. I would have sit in my seat and have a hot dog in a baseball game, which I do probably every other time we go. But yes, that Lafreda, and I'm like, how is there nobody on this line? Does nobody know this is the best food in the stadium?
The good thing though, in our seats, we do
Oh, yeah,
we have service in the seats.
Yes.
So
A little bougie. That's
little
the one bougie thing in my life, I think.
that we didn't get this year.
That we
got.
got this year.
We can't go to a baseball game. I got one of my Mets masks. I was very excited
Good.
yesterday.
Good.
And of course it's got the little slip because it was made in China. And it's got the little thing that says something in another language in Chinese that I
That you can't
clue
read
what it is.
anyway.
But it might say it might already have coronavirus inside of it.
Embedded with Corona.
Embedded in
Breathe
Chinese.
deeply.
Chris Panisi, hello to you. Michelle, hello.
Hi, everybody.
I have to say, on Tuesday night,
Nice to see
first night
everybody.
we came back, Chris was the first one that ran up and said, thank you.
Yes.
Michelle, we're so nice to see you in person.
Yeah, it really is good. It's it's so weird because you go up and you want to like give somebody a high five or you want to hug them and it's like, hey, it's kind of an awkward kind of.
It is.
How you doing?
And even, I'm we already covered this. In our episode something, we talked about me handshaking and this stuff. But it's challenging because people are, we're trained. We know what we want. It's just what you do.
Absolutely.
And you don't want to be disrespectful.
No.
And I will say, I do have a couple people that come up and give hugs.
Yes. Well,
They throw it out
almost
there.
like I feel like these are people that are maybe kind of like extended family.
Yeah.
Like people that are
Well,
close.
depends. And somebody went to go hug me yesterday and he said, hey, you can hug me, but I just want you to know that everybody kind of comes up to me and tries to hug me. And it's fine, but I don't want you to, you're not just up sadly by the end of
You're
it.
not hugging me, you're hugging everybody else.
So it's not just you're hugging everybody that may have not wanted to hug, or you wouldn't have hugged. So it is a challenge because I am a hugger.
Right.
We're hugger. People just love to come up and give us hugs, and I think in about a month, I think we might be hugging more. It's just acceptance.
Yeah.
And I'm okay with it. I'm personally okay with it. We have our masks on. We're being respectful. I just don't want to put myself in a position to hug someone, and I just don't want to. I just not comfortable. I don't want to. And with our staff, when we first brought everybody back, the conversation was, one, you shouldn't do this,
Right.
but don't put yourself to make someone else feel uncomfortable.
Feel uncomfortable. Correct.
And I just, it's hard. It's hard not to do.
Yeah, it definitely is.
So
I would say that's probably the hardest, especially especially people that you really missed. And there were some people that we really missed. That really, we look forward to seeing, and that's almost everybody. But there are some special people that make things, make the day go really, really nice.
I got yelled at Monday night by Gloria Silva, who I know is not watching because she's not on the Facebook. However, I would have swore that she was watching based on what she said. She would even call me. And we kept talking about calling people. And I did. And I called her out on it. I said, no, we spoke on the phone twice. So who are you kidding? She had nothing to do. And I started laughing. And she was being facetious.
Right.
You didn't call me. And I said, oh, I didn't. You actually left me 2 messages and told me not to call you back. But guess what? Did I call you? She was, yeah, you did. And I think we're still at that point. If you haven't seen or heard from someone, please give them a call.
Reach out. Because I will tell you, even bowlers, people that you wouldn't expect, are really still staying home. But they're not. They really feel strongly about what's going on, and they still have fear. And you know what? I totally understand that.
STFH. If you're not comfortable being out in public, if it comes to a point, stay at home. And I get it. So the league season started. There's room to still get in. We know there are people who are home, not comfortable, ready to come into the environment. We're doing our part, but I know there's only so much we can do to make certain people feel comfortable. We're hoping, the plan at the moment is that split season comes, and we might be in a better place where more people can bowl at one time, and people might feel more comfortable. And we're hoping that when that time comes, you'll be willing to come and bowl for the rest of the season. And if not, at least this next season.
And you know what? I even think as these next couple of weeks go by, that people who maybe didn't come back are going to talk to people who did come back, and they're going to say, well, it wasn't that bad. It really wasn't crowded. Because when, the first night when I stood on the concourse and the league went on Tuesday night, and it was like, it feels like the place is empty.
Yeah.
And Rob said to me, well, welcome to the rest of the world.
Sure.
He says a lot of places are like this. I said, well, it feels weird, but
he was talking about welcome to the rest of the bowling centers of the world.
correct. That's what I meant. That's what I meant.
And it's true. We're very lucky with the league business that we do have, and it's not typical.
Yeah.
And so around the country, bowling centers are very different. Our friend Reggie Frederick popped in there before. We talked about him in the state of Washington, where they can only operate league bowling with 2 people on a lane at a time. Now they're being creative. They're selling memberships.
2 people on a lane at a time.
Correct. So a team.
And do they have to additionally
Ready for
skip
this?
lanes?
No. Ready for this? A family of 5 walks in the door. They can sit at a table and dine together in the restaurant. However, they have to be split up 2, 2, and 1.
Do they have to? Can they take the mask off? Is that why?
I don't know. I think they're masked up. If Reggie's still here, Reggie can answer that question. Pat, we miss you.
Whoa, she's one of the people we talked about.
She is one of the people we talked about. We do miss you. For sure. You need to come by and say hello, at least. Thursdays are only the same. But yeah, so think about what in other states, like Jersey is at a 25% capacity. However, they can utilize every lane. Then you have other states there are 2 states that bowling centers are still closed.
So Jersey is 25% capacity?
Yeah, 25% capacity.
Every lane.
And using it with masks.
Obviously, same kind of deal we have.
Right, we're at 50%, but we have to use every other.
Right.
That's part of the guidelines where they don't have, that's not in their guidelines. They just have to use 25, they just have to be at capacity 25%.
So weird, right?
It is.
Feels arbitrary, like somebody said, all right, well, in a way it's not, because what New York went by is what you guys presented.
Right, so New York, even Washington, so Washington got banded together and they created the guidelines for that. So they made it very stringent, thinking maybe they would call their bluff,
Right.
or at least it would be a starting point to get open.
And they
But
go, yeah.
They've identified, yeah, exactly. But they've identified phases, so 2, 4, that's how it works.
Right.
And we're going to do the same, but we're going to be phases. But we're not going to be able to get lifted out of this 50% capacity thing for a while until this indoor dining is at 50% capacity.
I would say yes.
I believe that's going to coincide. And so nobody's talking about what's next or how we get there. How we get there is that the numbers stay low.
Stay low.
We're in a good place. It could be vaccine, it could be treatments, whatever it is, whatever the terminology you want to use for making sure people get well.
Do you know what? I don't
I'm not buying the vaccine thing. I just think we need proper treatment. The strain
yes.
today is going to be, the strain even today is not the same. So we're going to build a vaccine on a strain. So I struggle with that. So just proper treatment that
well,
works.
you know
for
what?
the-
Is the problem is with the vaccine is a perception that there's protection against it.
Correct.
Where I think a lot of people are still not going to get the vaccine.
Which is fine.
But the perception is, so I'm curious, what happens if they come out with the vaccine and they start opening stuff because of it, and the cases spike?
Yes, don't put that.
I'm not.
Yes.
I'm
Isn't
just
the motto here,
saying.
don't put it in the universe.
I said it. I said I don't want to put
But it's
anything
true. We
negative
don't,
into
again,
the
we don't know. So we could be at a point, right? We could have this vaccine, but you're also going to see, listen, with any vaccine, no different than the flu, you're injecting yourself with something. So the case load might spike also because of the vaccine, right?
Yeah,
we don't know what
they
they're going to
should
do.
easily be able to trace that.
They should, absolutely.
I know people who volunteered for that trial.
God bless them.
They're braver than I would ever be.
It's a if I was really, really sick, and excuse me, you talk, forget about coronavirus, I talk about cancer and all these, and you wanted to guinea pig, I'm okay with, I would be okay with
Get to
that.
that point
This is a viral infection to me, isn't, I personally wouldn't put myself.
where a clinical trial is, but it's a proper clinical trial.
You guys have just gone through it, I mean,
Yeah.
so.
And it's vetted and it's followed and it's really strict when they do a clinical trial, it's super strict. And as far as paperwork that's got to be filled out, there's a whole
Well, there was involved, no matter what you do.
correct. So my thing is that if they're rushing this vaccine through, then some of those protocols that actually Ray and I have to do are they're just kind of like, well, we don't. They're kind of separating stuff. We don't really need this long-term outlook, right? Because we need to get this to market. So it's just a little scary.
Slowly but surely, one step at a time, we're headed in the right direction with opening indoor dining September 30th.
We
Another
can't
step
wait.
in that direction.
Honestly, I'm very excited about that.
Mayor's getting furloughed for a week,
We
which is
should
wonderful.
really.
He should furlough forever.
He should furlough and literally take.
He should, yeah.
I don't want. Like I said, we're not talking politics.
But he can take
He
more
could
time than
take
just a week. There you
Some
are.
time, go
Everybody-
somewhere,
Everybody would appreciate it.
take a
Everyone.
vacation.
Who might be in a better position.
You don't know.
Hey, well, welcome back. Episode 126 in the books. We'll be back next Thursday, same time, lunchtime.
Maybe with Pam.
Which should be with Pam. If not, it'll be the following week, but maybe with Pam next week. And
And probably without donuts, Sandy.
we don't know. This was it. All right, so now we've had donuts twice. We don't need donuts again. When Tina finds out that we had donuts, she's gonna.
Well, you know what? I have something I'm going to make out. It doesn't have to be on the show, but I have a dessert coming. A treat I can make that.
Now that's gonna be.
I didn't say anything about baking.
You're gonna make something.
I'm going to make something.
All right, cool. Well, we're gonna enjoy this. I'm gonna enjoy the rest of this big donut before I have my pasta. My egg-free pasta. In the meantime, stay healthy. We're excited to have you back on the lanes with us. I don't know. We might be in here next week. We might be outside. We're going to be somewhere, but we're going to be right back next Thursday at noon. We can't wait to see you then, and we can't wait to see you inside the bowling center. Because if we haven't seen you, we're not going to hug you, but at least if we'll be excited to see you.
And if you know somebody who could maybe use to get out of the house a little bit, we still have spots available in a lot of, not a lot of our leagues. We have a spot here, a spot for 2 ladies there, a spot for a guy. So if you know somebody who you think might be interested, drop me a line, reach out to Frank, one of us, and let's
Drop
get
it
them
in
posted.
DMs.
Slide into my DM.
There you go.
I'm learning the link. Okay, so.
You know, it's funny you say that. And the reason why she says that, people join a league.
Because somebody asked them.
And it's not because we're doing a sales call, it's because somebody else.
Yeah.
So if you have a friend that just needs, we all need to get out of the house, but that's willing and wants to, able to enjoy themselves.
And it doesn't have to be a bowler. Maybe it's somebody that's just looking to do something. So many things have been taken away from us. This is something we can give somebody.
Very true. Including the kids. Youth bowling starts.
Yeah, I can't wait for that.
Next week, so we're excited. Stay healthy. We'll see you next week. Ness.
That was awesome.
Bye, everybody.